See, Emil is also keeping the legs out like me. That is a particularly soft sandy part that we just crossed through. At the bottom of the Botterkloof Pass, where it crosses the river, we are feeling a bit refreshed, and now we are ready to continue to the Biedouw Valley. So somebody has just stopped here and told us, sure, the road is getting pretty rough. So that is good to hear, because that brings adventure. So he is indicating we should just watch out. I think there's some work on this just around this bend. But it's a good thing to keep this road up, because that section that's already been worked on is certainly fantastic to ride on. Yeah, so indeed it's probably a combination of dust and smoke. Oh, maybe putting down some stones or preparing the road, I'm not sure. I have no knowledge of a road. Seems like a slow process of just getting some stone packed there. Yeah, so we need to get behind that mountain to get into the Biedouw Valley, so I think we're actually just riding around it. Yeah, so we're going to ride around there. You might be able to see where the road will pass by. You need to keep your eyes open here. Yeah. Well, the one thing I did not expect today was riding in the mud. So this construction work is now making this road very wet, but also very slippery. Oh, we will have to be careful now. Taking it very slow. But it's just a short little distance, but still. And now it's a bit of a steep downhill as well. Yeah, but all good. Okay, that was a bit unexpected. I'm not sure if this piece of road has got a name. I really don't know. If you know, please let me know. It's the bit of an incline or small pass that you go through from the Botterkloof Pass to join up with the Biedouw Valley. It's quite significant because you can see it goes up there. Yeah, just before the tar road starts, we will make the turn. So we will keep the adventure on dirt going. Although, of course, if you go straight on this tar road, it's also beautiful roads. I mean, that takes you to Clanwilliam and you go via the Berg Pass. But today we are going to Biedouw Valley. So we make the turn here to Wupperthal in the Biedouw Valley just before the Englishman's grave. So the Englishman's grave is there at this dry tree trunk over there. If you don't know what the Englishman's grave is about, make sure to go and have a look at one of my previous videos. I will put the link in the video. Then you can have a bit of a look at the interesting history there. That was at the time when I also rode from the Biedouw Valley side to Clanwilliam via the Berg Pass. Beautiful, beautiful road. But not on this series. This series we are picking a different route. Yeah, and as I said in the beginning of the series, I'm riding a few familiar roads that have featured before on Vandersview, but of course, what is making it unique this time is doing it with my brother Emil, he has never driven or ridden these roads. He doesn't know this area at all, so it is quite nice for me to be able to let him experience the beauty of this part of the Western Cape, because we have now returned, I think, to the Western Cape from the Northern Cape. But yeah, this whole area, the Western Cape, Northern Cape roads into the Tankwa, into the Cederberg, is such a joy to ride. I mean, I don't mind doing it over and over again, and now getting him to experience it as well is really special. Yeah, and suddenly the Biedouw Valley appears in front of us. Oh, beautiful. So here the board is announcing Hoek Berg Pass, so we're starting basically here from the summit. Now of course Hoek Berg is the Afrikaans for corner of the mountain. Yeah, this is quite a steep climb. Yeah, so the Hoek Berg Pass gives one a fantastic view over the Biedouw Valley. And of course the Biedouw Valley is also an area that, come the flower season, it is absolutely beautiful, because you will see the sheets and sheets of flower. Emil is just indicating there's a car coming from the back, so let the car pass, otherwise we might keep him up, and this we don't want to do quickly. So maybe just something about Hoek Berg Pass. It was not named Hoek Berg forever, or for a very long time. It was actually known as Uitkyk Pass. Now that caused quite a bit of confusion, because there's more than one Uitkyk Pass in this area of South Africa. The other one is there where you descend into the Algeria Valley, and just by chance we will be riding the other Uitkyk Pass also today, a little bit later today, which is also of course spectacularly beautiful. So the name was changed from Uitkyk Pass to Hoek Berg to get a bit away from that confusion that the naming causes. As far as you go down the Hoek Berg, you keep your grand view on the Biedouw Valley. Now there is some farming activity of course, and long before farming activity, there's been, for thousands of years, there's been humans settling in this valley, the San and Khoi people, and this is evidenced by really an abundance of San rock art in this area. And we will also a little bit later today see some San rock art more towards the Cederberg side. But the first Europeans that settled in this valley came around the 1750s, and that was the Lubbe brothers. So the Lubbe brothers, got farming or farms in this area, and they started farming it. So this part of the Hoek Berg Pass is so steep. It is assisted a bit by being tarred, but it's only a very small section, because there you can already see the dirt roads continuing again. Ja, but it is far down. The few proper hairpin turns. Now we are crossing the Biedouw River. So the name Biedouw is a Khoi San word referring or naming one of the local succulents here. So I'm not sure which one, but it simply refers to a plant species that you then get in this area, Biedouw. So here on the right hand side, of course, now we are crossing Mertenhof guest farm. Now if you have been following my previous series, an older series, my Cederberg series, you will know that I stayed over here at Mertenhof Guest Farm. Now, Mertenhof Guest Farm, I cannot recommend highly enough. This is a fantastic place to come and stay over. They've got beautiful campsites, they've got some self-catering accommodation, and Mariëtte Lubbe will look after you if you contact her and you say, well, I'm coming through like I came last time with my bike. I said, please Mariëtte, can you make me some food and so on when I come here? And she received me here with fantastic hospitality. So I will put the link to Mertenhof guest farm here, the contact details. So don't hesitate. If you come to the Biedouw Valley, you need a place for the night or for a longer period, come to Mertenhof guest farm. Okay, now this climb starts for us to be able to descend into the Wupperthal Valley and Wupperthal town. Yeah, this has now been quite a rough climb to get over the mountain to go down to Wupperthal. Not sure how far it is still to go to start descending, but we're only, about 6 kilometers away from Wupperthal, so it should start soon. Now one can already start to see down into the valley. Yeah, so this is a real steep descent. It's only 4.5 kilometers. There you can see the town of Wupperthal already. So yeah, one needs to take it a bit slow down this steep decline. But this is basically the main route from Klein Willem to Wupperthal, because to approach it from a different, if you approach it from the other side, it's a much rougher road. It's not a road that you can do, I think, really by normal sedan car. And from here we can already see the road snaking up there on the other side. That is the Eselbank pass, and we are going to do it. But first, a bit of a stop in the beautiful and historic town of Wupperthal. Yeah, and the feature of Wupperthal, of course, is the white buildings, white houses, all thatched roof. It gives it such a beautiful character. Yeah. So let's make a turn in here. Yeah, the town of Wupperthal is a bit older than most other towns, if not all other towns we have seen so far in the series. Now there's the Wupperthal Cafe, this is the community hall, I suppose. Wupperthal winkel, so it's Wuppertal's shop. So yeah, Wupperthal was established already in 1830 by two German missionaries, Theobald von Wurmp and Johann Gottlieb Leipold. Now yes, that Leipold surname is well known. It is the grandfather of the well-known South African writer and so on. He was the grandson of Johann Gottlieb Leipold. So it was a Rhenish mission station at first, which only later then became a Moravian mission station in 1965. Yeah, we made a stop here next to the church in Wupperthal. We're a bit in the shade, so it gives us an opportunity to just have a bit of a look at this historic church. The CRF 300 Rally and the CFMoto 450 MT have negotiated a few rough roads now. This was quite rough, descending into, well, first climbing and then descending into Wupperthal. But this is like the central square of the town, I would say, with this church building a prominent landmark in the town. It was built in 1834, so this is extremely old. As I mentioned, it was two German missionaries, Theobald von Wurmp and Johann Gottlieb Leipold, that established this town as a mission station. So it was a German mission station, a Rhenish mission station, and only much later it became a Moravian mission station in 1965. So today it is a Moravian mission station, and yeah, the church must be part then of the Rhenish mission station in the beginning, because it's dated 1834, just 1 year after the town was established. And there is also the bell. But why I'm saying this is like a town square is there's also a post office there. The Wupperthal post office is there, and the pastor's house is here on the left-hand side. So let's just continue here between the post office and the house of the pastor. I think you call it the rectory. Maybe just something about the name Wupperthal. Of course it's German. I mean the German missionaries that came gave it the name Wupperthal. But you will be mistaken if you think it is named after the town of Wupperthal in Germany. Actually, the town Wupperthal in Germany is more than 100 years younger than this Wupperthal. It was only established, the one in Germany was only established in 1929. So yeah, this is an older Wupperthal established already or named already in 1830. You can see some of the buildings here related to the missionary station. Beautiful. But yeah, no visit to Wupperthal will be complete without mentioning the devastation of a fire that broke out in this town on 30 December 2018. You can see on these palm trees, the barks is still blackened by this fire. It was a complete tragedy for this town because 53 of the houses burned down, with some of the public buildings as well. Luckily, the church was spared. It did not burn down, but it left 200 residents of this town homeless, and a complete rebuild of this town had to be done. But it has been beautifully restored. Most of the houses are to that side, and many of them burned down. But we're now going to make the turn to Eselbank. So let's follow this little dirt road. Now you can still see the remnant here of obviously one of these palm trees that's been destroyed by this fire. Yeah, so it's quite a bit of a rural dirt road that we need to take here to just get out of Wupperthal. Yeah, and some donkeys there in the front. Now, as I mentioned, the road towards Eselbank that we are taking now is probably a bit rougher road, but look how beautiful it is crossing this river. So I think this is bringing a bit of another dimension to our motorcycle trip. It's going to challenge us a bit because we now need to climb up the Eselbank Pass that you can see going up there. Okay, Emil is going to take the lead up this Eselbank Pass. This is steep. Some parts 1 to 5 gradient, so one needs to be a bit careful, and it's a bit rough. There are some concrete parts, and I think the concrete parts becomes a bit better the further we go, so it at least helps with this steep climb. But yeah, we're leaving the beautiful town of Wupperthal behind now. So this Eselbank Pass is also known as the Kerskop Pass, and it was already built in 1879, so it's quite some time ago. But yeah, even though it is a proper pass, it's not for all kind of vehicles, so this is a bit rough. When I'm standing up, it is just a bit more comfortable to do this standing up. This is giving the bikes a bit of a workout. Well, not only the bikes, it's also giving us a workout. Keeping a bike steady and upright on a tough and rough road is taking a bit of energy. And now we get to a tight hairpin bend. Yeah, and some of the concrete is carved away. Now we are catching the wind a bit now. We're getting quite a bit higher. But the steep incline continues. It's quite a relentless incline. I think we made it now to the top. Just look at these rock formations. How beautiful is this? No, I think he muled it very well on the 450 MT, the CFMoto. Now this is giving the bikes a true workout. And yeah, we've got the sandy patches here, so we need to take it a bit careful. As I said before, sand is not my best surface to ride on. I really struggle. See, Emil is also keeping the legs out like me. That is a particularly soft sandy part that we just crossed through. But here it looks relatively steady. So, jy glo my nou dat ek gesê het gaan so 'n bietjie anders raak. No, this is a fun ride. Ja. Hy's baie styl en dit is relentless, nee, hy hou hom daar. Dit is daai dele moet 1 tot 5 wees. Paar van daai dele. En die bike, hoe doen die bike? Nee, ek's beïndruk. Hy lyk of hy kyk hy het lekker krag, nee. Hierdie bike raak 'n bietjie warm, maar ek hou hom so in tweede rad. Ek weet nie hoe jy gery het nie. O, okay. Refs te kry. Ja, nee, ek het hom myne is basies heelpad in tweede rad op, dan kan ek lekker staan en ek kan hom lekker control. I think the steepest inclines are now behind us. But there are really a few bumpy parts still. Yeah, so I think we have now passed the roughest parts, probably also arguably the most beautiful parts to get out of the Wupperthal valley to this part where Eselbank is located. So Eselbank is located quite significantly higher than Wupperthal, but the scenery remains spectacular. So if you can get the chance to take your eyes off the road, there are beautiful things to see next to the road. Yeah, so we're now descending down to the river. I think this is the Eselbank river, and then we will enter the town of Eselbank. So Wupperthal is remote, but Eselbank even feels more remote. I mean, you have these relatively rough roads to get to Eselbank. But what a setting! Staying here nestled in the mountains. And here in Eselbank, the sheep walk in the streets. Yeah, so this is the main street of Eselbank, and then we also cross some prominent rocks sticking out of the ground here. Usually the water runs here, but we are still in the dry season. Oh, this is such a challenging ride. It's so much fun. It's really taking all the concentration you have, or you can muster, because it is really rocky and up and down and loose stones and sand. Of course, in winter the water is flowing here. Oh, the stones are guiding you through this this part. We just took a bit of a leg stretch, ate a snack, energy bar. I also had an apple, so I'm feeling a bit more refreshed, because this rough road is is a bit tiring. But yeah, it's usually the roads that makes you the most tired that's also the most fun. So it's about 13 kilometers to go to get to Matjiesrivier Nature Reserve. But from Matjiesrivier the roads are becoming better again, so then we will probably be able to go a bit faster. Oh, this is really a bit of a sandy part. Getting stuck a bit. But all good. And then a steep climb out on the other side. Oh no, this is rough. It's not really a line to pick. It's a bit difficult because you cannot avoid the stones. But yeah, standing up on the Honda CRF 300 Rally is actually quite convenient with its relatively soft suspension. It almost feels like you are just floating over the roughness. I actually enjoy it. Yeah, I'm also keeping the pressure on the tires quite low, so my front tire is only about 1.1 bar and the back tire about 1.5, so I find this to be then causing it to be quite a soft, smooth ride. But yeah, especially for the front tire, I am a bit careful. I don't want to hit any sharp solid stones too hard, but it's actually making for quite a comfortable ride. Yeah. Suddenly we can see far in the distance. So we crossed the neck area now. So it was quite a bit of climbing, and now it should be descending down to Matjiesrivier Nature Reserve all the way. What is it? Not sure. About 7 kilometers to get to Matjiesrivier. Yeah, I'm just passing Emil because we are getting close to the Matjiesrivier Nature Reserve turnoff. He's not so familiar with these roads. Ah, what is rough. Yeah, so now the roughest roads are behind us. That was quite a lot of fun, but it's also, of course, great to ride with a bit higher speed on a beautiful dirt road. So here it's already much better. Yeah, so we made it now to the turnoff to the Matjiesrivier offices. Yeah, this last part was extremely rough. So I just want to make a stop here at Matjiesrivier. Now Matjiesrivier Nature Reserve is a 12,800 hectare reserve where you can find some of the most spectacular rock formations and yeah, especially sun rock art. I mean, you find it everywhere, and it ranges in age from 300 to 6,000 years of age, but it is the rock formations and the caves and so on that is really making this nature reserve spectacular. And myself and Emil will be stopping at arguably the best example of this, and this is the Stadsal Cave, or the Stadsal Caves. Let me just make this very tight turn. But I just want to find out whether there is somebody at the gate or whether we can get a permit here. But Matjiesrivier is a farm that was, of course, first established here, but now it is part of the Matjiesrivier Nature Reserve. And as I said, the offices of the reserve is also here. Oh, and the beautiful white thatched roof building. Let's make a stop here.